Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Wine and FaceTime. It is your host. It's the NY Grapevine channel. Tonight, I'm gonna jump into it, let you know how I'm feeling. First of all, before I say anything, shout out to all the subs. I'm pretty sure most of you guys saw the debate last week, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys have recognized that the kids are back in school, and I'm pretty sure you guys have all recognized that the weather is switching up. And if you know, you know, that means summer is over, all the beach and fun days out. It's time to bring that to a result. But definitely follow my socials. Here's my TikTok, my IG, my other YouTube. Follow me. That's how you can follow me. And again, big shout out to all the subscribers. Thank you guys for sticking with me through my inconsistencies, late delays, replays, unlisted and all of that. And again, if you're new here, like and subscribe. Let me know where you're from. In the comments, replay game, returning viewers, city, state, town, country. Let me know where you're from. Just want to show you guys love when I'm doing my videos. Thank you very much. So tonight I'm jumping right into it. I'm gonna talk about, briefly, um, the debate. Did you see the debate? Hi, Irby. Shout out to Irby Vital. You guys follow him. He's a cool ass dude. Follow Irby. Hi, Irby. Thank you for popping in. Hello, Jose. Thank you for popping in. Good evening. The debate. I'm normally not a person that talks about politics on this level, like who won or who I'm voting for. I try to keep those things private, but if someone asks me, I'll tell. But I really try not to get into it. But looking at the debate, did you guys watch the 2024 debate with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump? Let me know if you guys saw the debate. I watched it live. I was home. I saw it, and I'm gonna just share my screen really quickly. It was a lot. It was about 2 hours of them going at it. These two right here, back and forth. Low blows. Making up lies, trying to throw each other under the bus, trying to stand out as the top person on the totem pole, so to say. It was a lot. Something we see all the time when it comes to debates. We're used to seeing these candidates go at it with each other, talk about the kids, the wives, the family members. We saw it. It was a mess, right? Y'all saw it in the chat exactly. Like for me, it was just like okay, I wanted to see it just to see what they were talking about, what their talking points were. But it wasn't any different from years ago when I saw other presidential candidates. They always go, the gut punches, below the belts, the family, the personal things like that. They definitely step a lot of lies. And after watching it, you didn't even really know who was even telling the truth. It's like everyone just covering up lies on top of lies on top of lies. But on top of that, it makes me talk about tonight's conversation. So tonight's conversation, I'm not gonna throw it to you right yet, but if you already saw the title of this stream, you already know what tonight's conversation is gonna be about. But I want to check in with y'all regarding the weather. Like wherever you're from, like have you noticed it got cooler? Summer is left us, like it's now about to be cool or fall weather. We're about to have that cool fall, brisk weather coming. So now time for the leather jackets, the bubble jackets, the jean jackets, the puffer jackets. It's almost that time, and I'm not even ready. It came way too soon. But with that said, that means the school kids are back. The kids are back in school, which means the traffic on the road is a lot more congested, a lot more busy. It's getting us delayed getting to work, getting us delayed coming home from work because the kids are back in school. So I know we can't wait for that first holiday to come over when the kids out of school and get back to commuting with traffic on the highways and public transportation without the major delays of yellow school buses being on the road and all the buses that transport children here and there, point A to point B. It's a lot. But again, if you know, you know. Shout out to all the people who are gonna catch us in the replay. I really appreciate you guys for showing love consistently. You guys definitely rock. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Tomorrow we're back to work and yeah, back to getting to that grind. So yeah, I want to actually ask you guys, what you guys think about my conversation for tonight. Once I share my perspective and my viewpoint. But tonight, what I really want to talk about, specifically the main topic is I'm a woman, as you guys know. I really want to talk about is abortion being utilized recklessly. That's what I want tonight's conversation to be about. I don't want to like create a big header on it, so it can come off, the wrong way. I struggle for the right graphics to try to say how can I convey to my viewers and audience what I'm trying to say without it coming off too insensitive or too derogatory or too blunt or whatever the case is. And I'm like, you know what? You're coming from genuine from the heart. So, people who know you know where you're coming from with this. But again, I want to talk about it. Is abortion being utilized recklessly? Again, the conversation on abortion regarding the presidential 2024 debate brought up a lot of conspiracy theories about people in clinics and facilities and healthcare centers possibly, giving women abortions in their third trimester, even after delivery. And it definitely made me want to do some research. And I don't know if you guys have heard about women having abortions in third trimesters, but for sure, what I can say is, sorry, my little watch went off with a notification from Facebook. What I can say is in 2024, I definitely think that, abortions are somewhat of not just a safe, humble, I need this, is life or death matter, but it has become a situation where, it's getting a little bit out of control with all the contraceptives we have, including the most relevant Plan B pill. I feel like there shouldn't be a high amount of women still having abortions every year. Now, I know there are situations and stipulations and circumstances where this may not be the case when it comes to great incest, birth defects. Some of these things can change the totem pole on when it is or is not considered reckless. But I definitely feel like there definitely should be some rules and regulations on abortion, just because I do feel like some people are just way too comfortable with just knowing that's a solid permanent option to the point where the amount of numbers of times they've been to the facility is too high, and it's like it's not supposed to be the number one permanent fix. There are other preventive measures in place to make sure you're not just doing that. That's very physically hard on the woman's body. It can lead to a woman not being able to hold a child to full term, or even a woman being on full bed rest the entire pregnancy from the amount of procedures you have when it comes to abortion. So it's a really sensitive topic, and it's actually out there for the world to decide. But is not something a woman should take advantage of. In my personal opinion, I feel like a woman should not have 10 plus abortions. What's good, just chilling? How you doing? Again, I feel like when it comes to women under 18 and women over 18, the rules and regulations of, abortion, should be different. You know, um, I think when it comes to a woman having insurance and a woman not having insurance, that shouldn't be a main factor. But, all these little guidelines and stipulations that may come into how a woman may have to travel from one state to the next or get her procedure done or whatever the case is, I think they all should be like, really taken considered. Now, I want to do say that I don't feel it was great or right or the positive move to have women, travel from state to state to state just to get this procedure done. Depending again on the situation. Again, we know sometimes like women be wilding, especially this generation has a lot of this generation of women has a lot of flack of being promiscuous and wanting a bag, wanting a baller, and all about the money. They don't want to work, want a man to take care of them. So I'm not sure if I'm necessarily saying this specific generation because we do know there's a lot of babies out there. Hence, some of y'all may call them side babies. Hence, one of us could have been side babies. Well, we know, but we do know there's a lot of preventive measures in place to make sure that women are not bringing unwanted babies in this world. And even when women do bring unwanted babies in this world, there's things such as adoption. There's other things in place to make sure that a woman does not have to struggle for 18 plus years with a child that she may not want, or she, for any reason, again, great incest, birth defects, she does not want to, go a whole lifespan with, having to be that type of permanent caregiver to another human being. Get it, got it good. But again, I think, when a woman's under 18, when a woman's over 18, again, talking about birth defects, great incest, the amount of times a woman is having an abortion in a year, I think those should definitely be some rules and regulations probably inserted into the rules of birth control. And again, I'm gonna say I am for birth control. I've been down that road. I'll have a lot of friends, relatives who've been down that road. It's not a fun road. It's hard on the body. It's definitely not fun. It can be scary. You can lose your life in this. But again, some people I think they just look at it as so too much of a comfort zone ace hole in the pocket kind of thing. Like Plan B does exist, birth control does exist, many contraceptives exist, men can get, vasectomies. Like there are very um vast options for a woman to not be in that predicament. However, we do understand that yes, sometimes a woman can be in that situation again. We just mentioned birth defects, grapes, incest. Now, with birth defects, women go through testings throughout the first and second trimester of their pregnancies to check for deformalities and birth defects and autisms and syndromes of that nature. And sometimes it's nothing, and then sometimes it becomes something, and sometimes they catch it, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes the mother has an option at the third trimester to say, I don't want this baby. I want to, not have this baby and things can happen. And sometimes people want to just have faith in God and just have that baby and see what the baby comes out to have. If it's physical, obviously you can see it. If it's not physical, if it's mental, sometimes the family decides to, work with that kid to get that kid the way they need to be. And sometimes everything looks good, throughout all the tests and everything, and the baby's born and something's wrong. So, there's no if, ands, and rights or wrong way to do this. But my whole thought process for tonight is, like maybe we do need to put some more restrictions on the parameters around abortion. I'm definitely for abortion. I definitely feel like that's something women should have an option for. However, I feel like it should not be abused to the point where a woman who's in her 20s has had 25 abortions, or a woman who's in her 30s or 40s has had more than 50 abortions or 17 abortions. Like, I think that's really, really ridiculous, really, really out of control. I don't know the number I would cap it for, if it would have to, roll over, or, every year we'll restart, but I do think we do need some stricter measures on it again, outside of when it comes to birth defect, rape, and incest. Okay. Now, again, there are Plan Bs. There are, other contraceptive measures. We already said that, So, again, the amount of women having the procedure should be significantly less. But apparently, it's not. Again, as we just saw in the debate, we have women all over the country, especially in some of them southern states, that are just traveling around to get these procedures done because they can't have it because of the state they live in, and how it enacts and forms and practices. So I want to ask you guys, do you guys think abortion is really, really being like, taken for granted? Like, it's just, you know, like the Plan B pill, or not just like the Plan B pill, but like something women just know they can just get like that, and they don't care if they're having unprotected sex, and it's just the way of life, the way of culture, is the trend, it's what happens in 2024. Because again, I'm an 80s baby, and I grew up in the safe sex era of let's talk about sex, baby. TLC, T-Boz left out chili, wearing the condoms on the hat, speaking safe sex, having sex ed, or having gym class, talking about, health education. Like, I grew up in that era, where they wanted to give you condoms in school. They wanted you to know what sex was like. They wanted you to understand what losing your virginity was like. They wanted you to know what STDs were. And I don't know what that's going on right now in today's public, junior high school, and elementary schools across the world. I don't know. My daughter has came home once. My youngest daughter has come home once that and told me about sex education, but since then, not that much. My oldest daughter, who's about to be 26, came home probably once or twice, told me about sex education on a graphic, vivid level, but not that much, not that many. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And again, it could be a lot of circumstances. Why it's could be considered understandable if a woman is having more than one, more than two, because life happens, things happen, unfortunately. But what do you guys think? So definitely want to shout out the chat. What's up, Urban Vital? Just chilling on comments with Jose and Grown. Thank you guys for popping through. I know you guys are all men, so you may be hesitant or reserved on putting in a response. I understand some of you are definitely saying you're pro-choice, and I'm definitely pro-choice too. But do you guys know anybody who lives in another state that's not pro-choice? Do you guys know people and from TV, YouTube, news, media, from other states or countries that are having difficult times in these situations because of this? Yeah, salt and pepper too. Definitely just chilling. Salt and pepper as well. It's like we were in that era where we talked about it. It may not have been a large conversation inside the household, inside the house, but we definitely heard it through music. We definitely heard it in school through friends. We all had a friend who was doing it, as we would say back in the day before we were, and made it seem like the most magical, wonderful thing of the world. And that's how most of us probably tried it, But again, there were videos, movies, tutorials, classes where they showed you all about sex ed and the do's, the don'ts, the good, the bad, all that stuff. And again, these conversations are hard. I know I kind of had the conversation with my mom and some aunts and cousins and relatives and stuff like that, and definitely had a soft talking of it, so far with mines, and the conversation is weird. It's not easy because the conversation is not wanted by the kids. The kids don't want the conversation. You don't want to give the conversation. The conversation is often awkward, and it may be a one-way conversation, the entire conversation. So one of those weird things. But what do you guys think? I'm gonna throw the link out to the chat. I want you guys to feel free to pop in, join in, spill your tea. Let me know what you think about abortion being utilized too recklessly at this point. Again, I understand we all may be for and not for abortion. Get it, got it, good. But my question tonight is it being used recklessly, as in being abused? Like women are having unlimited amounts, like they're not even considering contraceptives, they're not even considering abstinence, they're not even considering, um, calculating their cycle and their ovulation time to make sure they're being safe. They're not considering asking their partners or husbands or spouses, to consider getting a vasectomy. Like, do you think it's being utilized in a reckless way in that sense specifically? Let me know. So I do have a guest up here. Please welcome to the stage, Uncommon Sense, Jose and Grown. How are you? Thank you for popping in.
Good evening. Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me on your platform. Just to get to the crux of the topic, I am pro-life, with the exception where whether the case of rape, incest, or when the mother's life is in danger. Now, this is a personal topic for me because my mother and my older sister both had high risk pregnancies, and both of them were advised to terminate their pregnancies. My mother decided to carry the child to term. My mother was about 40 years old when she gave birth to my younger brother, and my sister chose the decision to terminate her pregnancy. As far as I concerned, both my mother and my sister, they made decisions that they had to do based on the information that was available to them. And the fact of the matter is, when it comes to these so-called reproductive rights, I mean, there's a lot of gray area out there. Okay, I don't believe there should be a complete abortion ban. However, I do believe there should be restrictions based on the exceptions which are given, and contraceptives should be available to prevent unwanted pregnancies.
And I'm sorry to hear about what your relatives has to go through. I know a good percentage of women have to make that decision at some point, and my mom has to make a decision like that in her time. She was pregnant with a baby in her fallopian tube and not in the uterus, and that automatically caused the doctors to have to take her into emergency surgery to remove the baby from the wrong area because it can kill a woman and grow and burst, and a woman can internally bleed. And that happens to many women. They don't even know it either. So I'm sorry about to hear about your relatives.
Well, like I said before, those are the decisions that my mother and my sister made. And the fact of the matter is, millions of women have to make these decisions every year. And and the fact of the matter is, it's very easy to be judgmental. I used to be completely pro-life. I did not believe in any exceptions whatsoever. However, in time I grew, there are gray areas which led me to believe that, as terrible it is, has to be made available in the case of rape, incest, or when the mother's life is in danger.
Good evening, Rakim. Thank you for popping in.
What's up? What's up, Kishelle? Shout out to you. Shout out to Jose. I just happened to be strolling and I saw that you was live. What you guys been covering tonight?
Jose, you could fill him in.
Actually, it's regarding whether you're pro-life or not. And basically, it's been a lot of controversy because there have been, particularly during the last presidential debate, there was a lot of discussion made regarding the topic. And, there's certain people that hold certain views when it comes to so-called reproductive rights. Um, I already stated what's my position. I think that you do have to allow it in the case of rape, incest, or when the mother's life is in danger.
I agree. I agree. I agree completely when it comes to things like that. I think when it comes to the idea of that situation, I think a lot of people are going against that for their own particular reasons, as far as what's going on with that in a lot of different states. Because I believe certain populations are slowing down, and they that's what they want to preserve, but they can't really point that out in public. So it's trying to make it look like it's a law for just women in general. So but yeah, I agree. I believe every woman should have their right to you know do what's necessary, due to unfortunate circumstances of a child being conceived, and on various things. The flip side of that, I don't believe as well, because I've seen people. I don't believe as well that that should be used as a form of birth control. Neither. I think that
Right.
what you say.
Right. I was asking Jose and everyone who's going to catch this as well. Like my real question is, do you all think that again, fair use disclaimer I'm going to put out there? Do you feel like abortion is being utilized in a reckless manner?
I think with some women, unfortunately, they're treating it as a form of birth control, and which is sad because there are over 30 different types of birth control that's out there for women to choose from without having to terminate the pregnancy. There is, of course, abstinence. There is the diaphragm. There's the IUD. I mean, there are um, over 30 different types of birth control available in order to prevent not only unplanned pregnancies but STDs as well. And of course, the other option is that the guy uses a condom. Okay. But unfortunately, we have the situation where we have men and women who are engaging in sexual activity without any precautions, and it not only exposes them to unwanted pregnancies, but also STDs as well.
Yeah, I agree, and because it's been like so many contraceptives that can prevent a pregnancy. And I don't know if certain people, I don't know why they would, because what it does is it puts a bad light on situations for situations for where a baby, where someone may have to, I don't want to say the word because I don't want to get things flagged and nothing, but if a person may have to undergo that procedure because of a serious situation, or different things like that. But I don't think it should be used as a form of birth control at all. And I think it has been certain women that have taken that, and they've really, really, you know,
Yeah. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of misleading information regarding reproductive rights, particularly talking about terminating the pregnancy after the child is born. There is no law in the land that permits it. Okay, it's called murder. Um, it does, and to be perfectly honest, there have been okay. Certain individuals that flip flop regarding this this discussion, um, mainly to try to get people to vote for them. I mean, we have seen this all the time. We have seen this within this election with Trump, who was originally pro-choice and he became pro-life. Then he's talking about he's going to be an advocate for reproductive rights and things of that nature, which led to him angering the evangelical Christians. Okay, to the point that they feel like they're being abandoned. Um, the fact of the matter is, um, if you're not going to be truthful regarding the topic, it's best not to be make any comments.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Cashel, you was gonna say something?
Yeah, when I was watching the debate, I was like taking notes. Like, all right, I'm gonna research this, I'm gonna research that. Listening to both of these talking points. So, of course, that whole thing he said about that Virginia governor with the whole abortion thing after the baby's born, or even the third trimester, is like, okay. Back in the 80s and 90s, we heard about women having abortions at 5 months, 6 months, which is right there borderline the third trimester, but it's always because of something's wrong with the baby, or she had an accident, and the baby just conceived in that way, or whatever the case is. So it's like, I think there should be real stipulations on this. I feel like it shouldn't be the ultimate plan B. Like, all right, I don't gotta take birth control or buy plan B if I'm just getting an abortion because, okay, chop shop, sorry. Because again, as you know, eventually when you meet the man you want to marry and settle down and have kids, now you can't, because now you don't have a womb to hold the child. Now your womb has been scraped so much that it can't hold the baby, and you now have to be bedridden for your entire 9 months, or you
Mhm.
possibly can't. So it's like there's reasons to not, I feel like, do this obsessively, but I feel like it definitely is coming off that, it's like no one, practices safe sex in 2024, or since the COVID, or, recently in the last 5 to 10 years, like no one does. And we're talking about people that are just dating, people that, who are in casual relationships, of course, people who are married, so it's like no one's taking accountability of, okay, we're not young as we used to, so this method may not work anymore, that method may not work anymore, so we have to be super safe. We have to both come to a conclusion where we're not running to the pharmacy at 3 a.m. or 5 a.m. because we're being reckless and careless.
I agree. I agree 100%. And unfortunately, what we're seeing now, that go my boy introvert Boricua.
Hey, Ramon.
What we're seeing now is just a lack of self discipline all around the board. Um, no one can really. It seems like no one's really using common sense these days. It's like it's a lack of it's a lack of everything, and I try to make sure I do my due diligence the best I can, because I've noticed that with the social media, it's been an increase in group thinking these days. Nobody's there really their own individual. So it seems like, especially the younger generations, are more easily influenced by that. And it can definitely hold an effect on, people's thought process and how they think when it comes to subject matter like this. You see what I'm saying? And like you were saying earlier, people don't think about these things. If you that does so much damage to your body, that should be a last resort for you know any type of situations that may have occurred where you feel that procedure is necessary. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, we all heard about these back end box stories like Irby's talking about right now, where somebody did something illegally somewhere, the same way Cardi B got illegal butt injections, and, K Michelle did this. That we all know about the black market doctors or the hood doctors that, people gonna put their faith in and do something. And I believe what Irby is saying, although I don't have any research on this, but again, watching that debate, hearing Trump say what he said about that Virginia governor made me want to do some research. And when I did the little light research, I didn't see anything of that governor saying that, but he was presenting more of a scenario of a situation possibly. But I didn't do full research, like weeks or months of research. So I can't really say that confidently, but just on first glance, that's what it looked like. But I do think that overall, like, again, there should be some stipulations to this. I feel like when you're a woman under 18 having an abortion and this is not your first or your second or your third, there should be a different counsel, a different like method to like prevent this and like, put a remedy to this. Like you can't make no woman do anything. I get that, but I feel like maybe it just is America, but I feel like I'm happy that we have the freedom of choice, but I feel like it's definitely being abused.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then it's just I think too, like, because I see people that placate on this false narrative that, oh, they're trying to control us, they're trying to do this and that, and that's not even really the case. I think we got more freedoms in the United States than any other country, and I think sometimes people use that to try to get more support when it comes to supporting the narratives, even if they may be wrong.
Mhm.
Now, what if we on the flip side was a country that we didn't believe in abortion? Like, what would the economy look like across the United States right now with the migrant crisis?
That's hard to say. That's really hard to say. I think that with everything that has played Kate into what's going on as far as the things that we do, because it's everything in society with America is socially engineered. It was designed this way, as far as what we're seeing with a lack of people in America producing children, the way that the court systems work when it comes to children, the fact that is we don't have that family unit that we once had, Americans in general. And you have people that's completely unmotivated because they don't see, light at the end of the tunnel, or they don't see them getting their just due for working hard and different things like that. And America has done that purposely to, for corporations actually. When you break apart families and there's no family unit, and you're able to, sell more products to people and different things like that. And I think they realized being greedy, they've overdid it, and now they don't really have the manpower anymore to keep America functioning the way it used to. And they see what they've done to the newer generations that's coming up. So the quick fix and the emergency fix is to bring people in from all over, because it's not just from people coming south of the border. It's a lot of different groups of people that are coming over to kind of reset America and get America running again. Kind of, we got to bring in new oil to keep the engine moving. And with America's foreign policy, they've destabilized a lot of different countries. They've interfered in a lot of countries' politics where these people are poor. So to them, they're not going to see America like a natural American does, from the ins and outs and the corruption and the greed and stuff like that. They're going to see it as a better opportunity to be able to make it and willing to do whatever to, uh, you know, get that slice of the American pie to get, so.
I definitely feel you. I've been listening to this podcast recently. These guys from Texas, they call themselves the Cruise Season, and I really like where these guys is going. They really talk a lot more about relationships, but they talk about all kind of stuff though. Honestly speaking, and they was talking recently about an episode I heard. They was talking about when will we get it right as far as changing generational curses and learning better and faster and catching up in the rat race. And some people feel like this generation we have like it's going to be the generations that's going to get it right and get us back on track. What do you think?
I beg to differ, because I see how people are easily influenced, and people can be easily brainwashed, because the only reason why we have so many generational curses, because we haven't picked up on the tricks that has been played against us mentally, and we continue not to, because unfortunately a lot of people are intellectually lazy, and they rather believe what makes them feel good, or they rather believe if somebody is, saying the right things and stuff like that. Literally, we've been on a bad path based off of misinformation for God knows how long. And then once somebody has invested so much into something that's wrong based off of misinformation and invested, time, and people, unfortunately, most people don't want to change. Most people don't want to change. So I don't know. I will hope so. But like if social media and different things are raising the next generation and anybody can just put anything out there and people will just run with it, I really don't see that. Because right now, based off of what we've seen, I've seen so much confusion and people with identity crisis and everything else. So it's crazy.
Yeah, we have a lot of followers, not a lot of leaders in this generation. I feel.
See, the problem is to many of the people today, and what I'm going to say this, and um, it's not to put, not to, not to, you know, attack single mothers, okay? But a lot of these people today were raised with just one parent, without the positive influence of a male role model or a female role model. Okay, and the reality is this: in order for children to develop properly, you do need to have a father and mother involved. Okay, unfortunately, the way it is now, there's a society where basically, which encourages single parents to just go on and do everything and not worrying about getting, having a stable home, not worrying about getting married, just concentrating on getting as many kids and what have you. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. There are single mothers out there who have done a great job considering all the obstacles they have to face. But a lot of these people, I mean, when you have um, raised by single moms, and a lot of the single moms have trauma, and then what happens is it creates other people of trauma. Okay, now people talk about why those single fathers don't have the same issue. It's because single fathers, for the most part, they don't think alike. Okay, and can society change? Yeah, but the problem is, it's going to have to we're going to have to go back with the concept of the nuclear family. And with the way social media talks about it, it almost curses um, anyone that is in a nuclear family of some sort.
Absolutely. Man, listen, social media has definitely changed the game for sure. Like, I definitely think that as well. And it's like, I heard someone else say this like on a comedy sketch or something like that. They said if this was 20 years ago and you found out that thousands or hundreds of millions of people are following you, they like you'd be scared to death. You wouldn't be excited for likes and the possibility of getting money. You would be afraid and scared of your life that that many people are looking at you every step of the way. It's just like a total different thing right now.
Well, here's the thing that I would say with that is that because back then, for you to have hundreds and thousands of followers, you had to have a production crew. You had to have a production crew, and you had to have an airtime and a slot time on television for people to watch you. A lot of us have always wanted to be stars. A lot of us have always wanted to be famous, and social media has opened up that window to that. And unfortunately, it has corrupted a lot of people because for the first in time, people that may have felt their lives that they were nobody might not really have an opinion worth carrying throughout the world, but they have enough followers and people that agree with them to make their opinion valid. And that type of, influence and that type of, attention is overwhelming to a lot of people. And what we're seeing is people that may, be in bad places in their life find a way that they can monetize that. And if they can monetize that on social media with all of these people following them by selling them hatred and selling them dysfunction or selling them, complete, chaos, then that's what they're going to do. And unfortunately, that's where we are.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. Like, it just makes me so proud as a mom because I have two daughters. I wanted sons. I didn't get sons either time, but I'm so grateful. Like, they're not like air bubble inner tubes as far as like trying to catch up and do and be a part of everything they see on social media. Like, they definitely have their own identity. So like, I don't have to remind them that they're pretty or they're beautiful or they're enough. Although I tell them that anyway. But they're not caught up into I have to look like this because this is what I see on social media every day. Like, I know for some parents in some households that's a real fucking problem. Excuse my French.
Yeah, and on top of it, it's a lot of people. We're in the age where it's even been in the music. People, everybody feel like they don't need nobody, which is a defense mechanism for people that are in pain. Everyone feel like they don't need nobody. Everyone feel like I can stand on my own. And it's a lot, and people don't realize how much words. Here's the thing with people that change too. You'll run past people that change. They'll be like, you know what, I've changed on this and that and everything. And I get that. We're all supposed to change. But people fail to acknowledge that what you did prior to with your words or what you did with your influence has done so much damage that that's something that just can't be ignored. For instance, you got what's her name? Cashel, you got what's the girl? Miss Miami from the City Girls who would say
And the one
things,
that was
oh,
messing with Diddy.
yeah, yeah. I don't want my daughter to be a city girl. I want her to be on a different vibe. And I get it. They was young girls coming out the hoods of Miami. They were trying to get on and make their money and different things like that. But I get that. So what you're saying is you was willing to get on and sell a product to everybody else's kids that you wouldn't want your child to use. And I get it. You was trying to make money, but at least acknowledge that because you don't want your daughter to be a city girl, but you got hundreds of thousands of girls from Queens to Brooklyn to Harlem to Jersey to the Carolinas to Detroit and everything wanting to be city girls. And that may not even be the best decision for their life. That may bring them into a lot of dark times in their life, depending on who they cross paths with.
I agree. Like, you just brought up a point I wanted to make too. Like, when I had my first kid, I was literally I think 16, turning 17. I was in high school, and I remember, I was with her dad and everything like that. And of course, you think your first love, your first romance, y'all gonna get married, y'all gonna buy a house. You think the whole shebang, whatever. And I remember, like, thinking, like, having conversation with his mom and having this conversation with my mom. Like, you know what? It's okay. It doesn't matter what's going to happen because I come from a strong line of woman that I never saw a man in the household. I never saw my aunts and cousins married. I never, saw my legit grandfather. I always saw my grandmother's boyfriend. So I can do this no matter what. And it easily, instantaneously became acceptable and okay mentally to say, like, okay, even if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna be good because I've seen this and I'm okay with this. And like now, as a 42-year-old woman, it's like that should not have necessarily been like so impactful for me. It should have been you want him to be there. You need to raise that family and that dynamic. You need to make sure the person you're picking, like you're gonna get that from them. I should not have ever been, or no other woman should have ever been cool because we saw so many other generations of women do it in our family. Like that was absolutely the wrong mindset to have. And even to this day, there's women out here that are telling their daughters, get his social security number. Make sure you get a copy of his license. Make sure you go through his paperwork to find his information. It's like that's necessarily information that's helpful, but it's the way it's targeted and demonstrated and infiltrated in a young girl or a woman is in a way of have your backup plan, girl. Like because it's gonna fail. Like it's in setting that mindset of you're gonna have to do this just like we did.
Yeah, yeah, I
And that's so
definitely
wrong,
agree.
but a lot of people like us grow up like that.
And the sad thing about it, that I didn't cover early is that it's a lot of people out here that don't love their kids. And I think that's something that never is really addressed. It's kind of swept under the rug, or like the people that don't love their children, we're taught to have empathy for them because they might have been through so much of a traumatic experience and everything that, mama did the best she could. Mama never really cared for her kids though. And with those kids of them having a lack of love because mama may have not loved herself and continue to have children. Now those children don't love nobody else either and don't have any regards. And that's how you create selfish, destructive people that spread their toxicity onto everybody else and completely damage other people's lives too. And we're just at a point where it's even been parents, and from my personal experience, from what I've seen, that would, because of the mistakes that they made in their life, they want to see their kids fail, which is something that's never really spoken about either. Or is a distinct jealousy of their children doing better. And that's something that needs to be touched on, in my opinion.
I agree, Jose. What do you think about what we're talking about?
Well, the problem, see, this is the thing. We're living in a culture where for women to be sexually promiscuous, I mean, that's liberation. I mean, go out. I mean, women are basically encouraged in their 20s to go and sleep with as many guys as they wish. Rack out that body count. You must have your hot summer, what have you. Live your 3 or 4. Okay, and then when you get to your 30s and 40s, then start thinking about settling down and getting married. The problem is many of these women, I mean, they have huge body counts, or they have like 3 or 4 kids, but maybe 1 or 2 or 3 different baby daddies, and then men, you know, they're very hesitant to be a step parent because first of all because they're constantly told, well, you're not the father, okay, and you cannot discipline the children. So so and men want to be able to have their own legacy. They want to have a family of their own. Okay, but sometimes it could be an issue when you date a woman in your 30s who has like maybe 4 or 5 kids and with multiple baby daddies, and then the woman decides not to have any more kids, and then make the responsible guy go through all these hoops and obstacles. And while you didn't make all the Pookies and the Ray Rays go through all those hoops when you share your body.
I agree. There's definitely that version of women out there. There's a lot of them on social media, so that definitely shows the scope of women that are moving in that way and the men that are falling captive to that. And again, it sucks for the child, like Rakim was saying, because we don't talk about how that child grows up with lack of love, attention, appreciation, and all other kinds of trauma that that can be endless. We can go on and on about. And it's like at the end of the day, it's like the parents were just with each other so what they can get out of each other. There wasn't even possibly genuine love in that situation. But sometimes there is possibly genuine love in those situations, and the parents grow apart, or cheating happens, or abuse happens, or drugs happen. Like there's so many different initiatives or ways it could be.
Mhm.
I agree. I agree. That happens a lot. That definitely plays a part. Sometimes it is genuine love there, and you'll think you're going to be with that person forever, and things don't work out that way.
And then sometimes the kids grow up cold hearted, disconnected, not knowing how to treat a woman, or a man not, vice versa, men, woman, they just, that disconnect is there when it comes to showing appreciation or love or empathy or sympathy because they feel like it wasn't reciprocated to them. And it's not an excuse because when you know better, you do better, but there's so many stories like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's just that, but people continue. to certain people that just want to live that way. In my opinion, not saying they want to, but they don't really want to make the change when it comes to that. So people like that you have to be weary of. But I don't know. I'm a little concerned to see where the future is going, because also with the same reset that's going on right now, when we talk about other people coming in, migrants from different countries and all, uh, people, they don't really know the ins and outs of the American system. So that allows America to continue the same tactics that they've been doing to people for decades, and it's just all going to reset over and over again, because most of the people that are coming in, they look at America through rose-colored glasses. Not saying all, because I know it's a lot of people that are struggling to get here and different things like that. But when America starts implementing their different tactics, so as far as it could start all over again. Family, breaking up the family of the new arrivals that just got here. Different things to turn other groups against each other. Once they start doing that again, it'll be that all over again, because people are not really going to understand how America's system works when it comes to that. It's a big corporation that's willing to sabotage and throw anybody under the bus to keep the money coming in at the top.
It's disgusting that as Americans we don't have another country we can flee to and get all these resources to support.
I know, right? I know, right? That's the crazy thing, and
Like
everything
we be
comes
going
right
in
out
a
of
hot
that.
second, man. 2.5 and we be packed up and ready. Like we out of here.
Hmm.
Well, I want to switch it up a little bit. What do you guys who do you guys felt was most dominant in the debate between Trump and Kamala? Who you felt like had a better argument or came off more confident, or is more willing to be the next president?
Well, I'm not me personally. I'm not voting for Kamala, but I will say that she did good in the debate. I'm not the biggest Trump fan either, but it's some things he says that I agree with. But it's obviously that when it came to the debate, that a lot of things that he was saying, you can tell he was advised to say, and the person that advised him was telling him probably from what they was hearing off of social media and giving him misinformation. It's like he couldn't say, when he said that people that were Haitian migrants was eating cats and dogs in Springfield, and that was a false story that was going around. And when they called him out on it, he he couldn't really respond. As he said, well, they that's what they said. No, 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 sir. You have to know that's what they said. Kamala, on the other hand, is trying to pull on the heartstrings of women and other groups. As you can saw, she was trying to placate with that. Um, it's crazy. As far as people would say things like she's not black, listen, when it comes to that, whether you want to say she's biracial or whatever, she does have African ancestry, and I think a lot of people are confused with nationality, race, and people, for some reason, people continue to be confused. She is half Jamaican. Um, I don't know if you would classify her father as a black Jamaican or as a biracial Jamaican, however, but she is of African ancestry and of Indian ancestry. Now, if you want to say she's not Black American, therefore she may not understand Black Americans' issue or their issues, or therefore don't really care. Maybe she just placating off of that to get Black Americans votes, and you can say that. But to say that she's not, Black at all, or like she's some type of super other, that's where people are confused. And once somebody else has a powerful voice enough, most people follow without questioning anything that they say. I don't know why a lot of people are afraid of Trump getting in office so much, because at the same time, too, I can remember a time where everybody loves Trump. So the celebrities love Trump. We was watching his show, his shows on television. Everybody mentioned
The
Trump.
Apprentice.
The Apprentice, yeah. Everybody mentioned Trump. Everybody wanted to be like Trump, and then all it took was 4 years for Trump to be the most hateful, racist person that you've ever seen in your life. And a lot of that has to do with media brainwashing. See, the difference between the United States and other countries that may have dictatorships is they'll force you and tell you right off the bat, yeah, we're forcing you to think this way, or forcing you not to say nothing. America uses media to brainwash people into um, the most popular way of thinking and turning them against people. So that's my personal opinion.
Um, if I
Hey,
can respond, if I could respond,
yeah, Jose. I'm gonna hey, Kishel, can you drop the link? Introvert Boriqua wanted to come on, and I'm gonna be back if you guys is on. Chipotle's about to close. I don't have anything to eat, and I gotta run and get my Chipotle. So
Got you. No problem. I'll drop the link.
I'll
okay,
drop back on.
yeah. Um, I have multiple issues with Trump. The first one is Project 2025, okay, which is implemented, which will mean thousands of federal municipal employees will lose their jobs and be replaced with an army of mega sheep people. Number one. Number two, there's the issue of him attempting to weaken the checks and balances that exist in this country's history since the beginning. He wants to increase the power of the executive branch. He also wants to do away with the Department of Education, the Department of Homeland Security. And he actually stated in a speech with a group of Christians that he said that after 2028, after 2024, you don't have to vote again, then there won't be a need to vote. It is clearly he's trying to establish a dictatorship. That's why many people have issues with Trump. Okay. And then there is his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, which he did a truly piss poor job. Now, as far as Kamala Harris is concerned, I have major issues with her as well. Okay. She is partially responsible with the way that we had dealt with the migrant situation. It was a piss poor job. I've stated it multiple times. Okay. Also, there have been issues that have been raised regarding her when she was the Attorney General uh, uh, for California and the District Attorney for San Francisco. Okay. Unfortunately, the media, corporate media, is not addressing these issues with her. Okay. I'm not saying that these issues exist, but I'm saying these questions should have been directed towards Kamala Harris. So, um, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I mean, I'm not exactly enthralled with her, but we cannot afford another 4 years of Trump.
I definitely understand that. Well, how
So
have you been and everything?
I'm sorry.
How have you been?
Okay, I've been back to work for a week now. Okay, for the benefit of those who do not know, I was on medical leave due to the fact that I have a revised knee replacement. At this point, the range of the knee has returned. The knee is still kind of weak, so I'm currently continuing to undergo physical therapy, doing my exercises, and actually today I actually walked the entire length of the African American Day Parade with our local SSE Local 371.
Wow, amazing, Jose.
Yeah. Of course, when it ended, my knee was sore. Okay, considering all the walk, even though we stopped at multiple times, the fact that I walked more of a mile. Okay, but I was determined to complete it, which I did. Um, of course, because my lady came to the DR this summer, and she'll be coming back next summer, this time for a whole month. So of course, I plan to spend some quality time, take her see some of the cultural affairs, take her to a couple of nice Dominican restaurants to eat, and hopefully, maybe I can get her to appear in one of my streams.
Very, very nice. So, what do you have coming up for your channels?
Okay, well, this week I'm going to try to avoid talking to politics. It gets a little bit spicy. So tomorrow night, I'm going to be talking about courage, a Christian perspective. So I'm just speaking about what is courage in light of the Bible. That's going to be on Wednesday, tomorrow night. Now it was originally planned for 10 o'clock, but with Latin Splaining changing her channel, so I'm trying to change my channel. So I'm going to be out on late tomorrow night at 11:30, which means most people are probably going to catch it on the playback. And then Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about the foolishness regarding the fat pride people again, because there are people out there who think it's a flex to be morbidly obese. They think it's a flex to weigh 6, 7, 800 pounds and what have you. And I'm trying to say that's not the case. And then on Friday, I'm going to be having open discussion. So, good evening, Ramon.
Good evening, Kichel, Jose. How you guys doing?
Good evening.
Um, Tired. I actually marched in the African American Day Parade today.
Ah, yeah, I saw a couple of pictures. You were out there. That's good. That's good. You're having a good time. I hope it wasn't. It didn't bring any discomfort since you're recovering. You're having to move around.
Well, I mean, you stop at several points, but towards the end, it was like, I mean, it was just struggling to keep up because obviously,
Yeah.
uh, it's another thing. But the good news is now 97 days until the first day of winter.
No, 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 no. Don't start with the weather. Don't start with that. I know you love it. I know. I know. You want the cold. I don't want it. I don't want it. It's nice and warm down here. It's not too hot. So it's actually more ideal right now. So I wanted to stay like that for a long time. So don't start. Don't start with that.
I mean, I only want 4 months of winter. That's all.
No, 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 no. Too long. That's too long. That's too long.
No, no, that's just right.
Yeah, but wanted to kind of like chip in a little bit on the subjects that are rather relevant right now. What Kichel has a title on. This is something that I did do a live stream a while back when the whole thing about Roe v. Wade was struck down at first, and I wanted to get the latest point of view on that. I can only I can only give an impression. Being a man, um, it's not ideal. It's not an ideal. I will not want women to use kind of like the procedure terminating pregnancies as a form of birth control. That's extremely reckless and extremely responsible to use it that way. But there are certain issues in which there could be a condition, ectopic pregnancies. Uh, it could be causing conditions to the woman that cannot be ignored, and there are issues of uh, women that are turning away at the hospital because they feel like they're having complications, and sometimes they start having a miscarriage, but not even then they can be seen by a doctor or some kind of physician, healthcare professional, because they are taking a risk. They're taking a risk of the laws being trying to put them in prison if something is not completely transparent, or maybe because of some technicality. There are going to be these laws that are going to be putting doctors and healthcare professionals in prison. and completely ban it, completely banning the procedure, it's only gonna lead to a situation in which women are gonna be taking risks, because if they need to terminate it, not so much wanted. Let's say that they need to terminate it, but because of draconian laws, they are forced to have have the baby to term anyway. But there is always some back alley, some back alley person that are gonna be offering kind of like under the table, it being against the law, that are gonna be offering a procedure to terminate
Mm-hmm.
a pregnancy. That's always gonna be a thing. I mean, no matter how many laws that you put on the books outlawing something, there is always somebody who is gonna be on an underground level, gonna be making a procedure, somewhat of a procedure available, and these women are gonna be taking risk, and they might not make it. There is always gonna be something about it, no matter how much they outlaw it, because um, they're gonna find a way. They're gonna try and find a way. Kind of like it's not too different now. This whole thing with the implants and butt shots, that's entirely cosmetic. But if let's say if they ban a procedure for women to get a BBL, they're still gonna be getting the BBL. They're just gonna be risking their lives more. Then they could end up losing their lives, which is something that we have already seen, because the procedure may not have been done properly. Huh? But I don't think it's too different from saying uh, they are trying to terminate a pregnancy. You can outlaw it, but I don't think it's just gonna go away. I don't think it will. So it will be best. It will be more responsible to make it available in circumstances where it is merited, that it will actually save a life to do the procedure. That's how I look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
so and yeah, yeah. I mean, you were saying something about the candidates right now, and I pretty much made up my mind as to which way I'm gonna go when it comes to voting. But I have my reasons. I have my own personal reasons. I'm not going because of what other people say, or what other people are thinking about. I have my own reasons, and I'm not gonna vote for Trump. I mean, I haven't forgotten what he did to my people in their time of need. No, no, I'm not voting for him. So I can't do it. I can't do it. And when it comes to the procedure, I think that it's gonna come back in a way. It's gonna come back. There's some kind of something into law. Um, it's gonna Kamala Harris. Um, I think she's gonna go into office. She's gonna be in office. I mean, I know that she may not be the best candidate, but I'm willing to give it a chance and to work with what we can get. But definitely, I'm telling you, a lot of women are behind her. It's not just because she's a woman, but because she has already pledged that when she goes into office, she's gonna pass it into law, kind of like bring back protections on the federal level for women to be able to get the procedure. You see, she's been donated millions of dollars, and let's understand that this has more to do with white women more than any other women. This isn't about ethnic women. This is specifically about white women, not wanting them to get procedures done. I know they don't want that, but there are a lot of these white women that are backing Kamala Harris, and they're counting on her to do something when she gets into the White House. And I believe she will. I think she will.
Um, Earlier in the stream, I shared my story where both my mother and my older sister had high risk pregnancies.
Yeah.
My mother was almost 40 years old, and my youngest, and both made difficult choices. My
Yeah.
mother decided to carry the child to term. My sister decided to terminate. The way I see it, they both made choices based on the information that's available. And when it comes to reproductive rights, the Democrats love to talk about it, but yet they had almost 50 years to codify those so-called reproductive rights. They never did that. Okay, they never did it when Carter was president. They never did it when Clinton was president. They never did it with Obama was president. So they had almost 50 years
Hmm.
to codify reproductive rights.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, after Roe v. Wade was overturned and basically that decision given to the states, all of a sudden, then they become concerned. To me, there's a lot of hypocrisy regarding, regarding that issue. If they were really that concerned regarding reproductive rights, they should have had these rights codified, and it shouldn't wait almost 50 years after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what happened on that. I guess they got comfortable. Apparently, they got comfortable and didn't think that there was any threat to it, so they didn't do anything to secure it, so it wouldn't be overturned.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it seems. So it seems.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys already talked about uh, uh, the the supposed assassination attempt, which really wasn't. It really wasn't. But they're already
I'm okay.
looking at
I'm not
No,
going to
I didn't
discuss.
bring that up.
I'm not going to discuss it on my channel because,
that.
first of all, I'm trying to avoid it because it gets a little bit too spicy at times.
Yeah.
Um, particularly, okay, particularly when I um, gave my assessment regarding the debate. Okay, um,
Hmm.
there were individuals that tried to for move the focus from actually talking about debates, but talking about the candidates.
Hmm.
Okay. So I felt a little bit uncomfortable about that. So until the VP debates coming up, I'm not going to discuss anything regarding politics because
Okay.
it gets a little bit
Okay.
too it gets a little bit too spicy, and I'm trying to maintain a chill channel.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not. I'm gonna leave it alone. I already have a good idea, a pretty good idea as to what happened, but I do need to come up on some on some info. I'm not believing what they're saying. I do understand that after the incident, Trump was already sending emails to his followers, trying to grift for some more money. So I don't think it's what they say. I don't think that's what happened.
You
So
never know. You never know. But if I see any conversation about it, I'll DM you.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. So it's just that I have already heard like three different versions of what may have happened. So yeah, it's kind of like a developing story still. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll leave it alone.
Well, hopefully it will replace the story regarding the dog and cat eating over Springfield, Ohio.
Well, the thing is that in Springfield, Ohio, the Proud Boys are already going over there and kind of like uh, doing intimidation, trying to intimidate the migrants over there because of course they believed it. They believed that they were eating the cats and dogs, and the Proud Boys have already been showing up there to intimidate the Haitians.
Yeah.
I mean, it has everything to do with race. They're using it as an opportunity to intimidate. I don't know if they are walking around with their guns or so, I don't know, but they are doing that. They're doing an intimidation tactic there.
Hmm.
I know ever since that debate, everybody's doing research on everything they both said.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
apparently, Trump got a little upset because he was fact checked like about 5 or 6 times.
It wasn't 5 or 6 times. It was only three, and that was because he was telling that lies that he was telling were so blatant, and the moderators had to stop her, had to stop him 3 times. It was only 3 times. What they don't talk about is that they were letting Trump talk all he wanted until he got to the moment when they actually had to stop him because he wouldn't stop rambling. He had like 9 minutes more of microphone time than Kamala, while the Kamala was being held strictly by the timers, by the clock, because when a candidate is speaking or doing a response, they're on a clock, they're on a timer. If they're making a statement or answering a question, they will give in 2 minutes. When they were responding to something that the other candidate were saying, they will have a 1 minute timer. Kamala was being held strictly by the timers, but they were letting Trump talk all he wanted. So that whole victimhood talk, like it was 3 against 1. Yeah, it was three against Kamala, if anything, because they were holding Kamala strictly to the clock, to the timers, but not Trump. Trump, they were letting him talk all he wanted. I saw the debate. Nobody's gonna tell me different.
But you know something, Ramon, the fact of the matter is, even though she had less time, the fact that she virtually destroyed Trump, I mean, it just makes her victory even more. Imagine if she had the same amount of time that Trump had.
Yeah, and she still did better, which is a major improvement because I will be the first to tell you. I will be the first to tell you that when it comes to dealing with the media, Kamala just was not very good. She wasn't very good at it. So she's been coached and she's doing better now. She's doing better now, but she wasn't doing so well not long ago. She
Hmm.
wasn't doing it too well when it comes to press conferences and answering questions in public to the media. She wasn't very good at it.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to say it because I have
Hmm.
seen the tips. So I don't need to be convinced on that. But it does seem like she's doing better now because
Yeah.
she has learned and she's been coached. And yeah, yeah, it's a learning process.
I feel
So,
like they both did good, honestly speaking. I feel like I've seen Trump much more aggressive than that, and I feel like she came off very well versed and rehearsed, and like she did her homework. I feel like it was good. I feel like I've seen words where people really go under the belt talking about people's grandkids and daughters and sons, and I feel like they held their composures, like they didn't really get too much out of their own pockets.
mhm. um, Ramon, I know this is a sensitive topic. When you going to be doing a stream?
Well, let me see. Let me see if between tomorrow and or Tuesday, if you guys aren't doing your own live streams because I'm always conflicted with somebody. I wanted to do one today, uh, but something came up, and something I wanted to do. I think last night, but something else came up. I couldn't do it. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll do a little something soon. I do have something in mind uh, that will be something. It will be something serious. And I know that I did talk about. I did mention that I wanted to do one about the comic book character, about the Puerto Rican comic book character that is very unoriginal, and I didn't like that. But I don't know. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I haven't forgotten. So it will be
Well,
something soon.
well, the problem is, Denise was going to do a stream tonight, so that's been pushed to tomorrow. Which, and of course, she's going to be on at 9 o'clock, which pushed me to 11:30. So,
Yeah.
depending how that go, I might have to push my stream to Tuesday night, and then I do a stream on Wednesday, and then I do another one on Friday.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the thing, having to push things back. Well, you guys have more of an audience, so you're the
Why
you're,
don't you
you're
guys do pre-recorded streams? I don't like pre-recorded streams.
I guess I'm gonna have to do something like that. I've done it before, and I might do something pre-recorded. So it will be better, so I can concentrate on the subject and not having to deal uh, with a chat or not get distracted, which is something
Right.
that can easily
Hmm.
happen with me. So yeah, I might do that. I might do that. And,
I will
and
have to
hear the
learn how
thing.
to. I will have to learn how to do a re-recorded stream,
Mhm.
um, because basically the only thing I've done is like basically like a rebroadcast
Yeah.
of an older stream. So I'll have to learn how to do that.
Well, it's easy to do on Zoom. If you have Zoom on your computer, it's easy to do a pre-recorded that way using Zoom.
I do it here on StreamYard too. It's pretty easy as well.
I have tried on StreamYard, but it doesn't let me because I'm not paying for it like that.
I'm not paying for it either. You just have to change the stream to unlisted,
Ah, oh, I see.
and then make it public when you want to drop it. Go into YouTube Studio and change it from unlisted to public.
Oh, okay, okay. So I don't do it on StreamYard itself. I do it on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean you could do it in StreamYard if you're gonna do it that day, but if you forget to do it that day and like the stream expires, you may have to go to YouTube Studios. But I kind of did that with this one. I had it scheduled for 3 o'clock, and then I didn't do it at 3. Then I had it for 6. I didn't do it at 6. Then I just made it public at like 9, like at 9:15. I just made it a public stream.
Oh, I see. I see. Gotcha. Gotcha.
But you can like do
Okay.
the whole video, and then you can do the whole video here on StreamYard as private or unlisted. And then when you're ready for you to like distribute it to the world, you comfortable with it, just go to YouTube Studios to the video you did and change it from unlisted to public, and then it'll be like a first time video.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Okay. You see, I learned something new because I have done it before, but it was using a Zoom pre-recorded, which will work fine. But yeah, maybe this might be easier.
Are there certain limits when it comes to re-recorded streams? Like for example, limits as far as length time, or limits as far as platform, which could be loaded onto StreamYard?
Yeah, like you gotta have a paid account on StreamYard, do a pre-recorded account on StreamYard. Like I've never done a pre-recorded video on StreamYard directly. It's gonna ask you to pay. But if you just make the video private on StreamYard or unlisted on StreamYard, do the whole video like you're talking to your audience, and then like end the video. If you go to YouTube Studio, go to that same video and change it from unlisted or private to public, the viewers are just seeing it. So if you hit it to public, it'll stay hidden until you make it public.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody will see it, only you.
All right. Oh,
Well,
cool.
I do
Cool.
have a paid prescription to StreamYard.
Yeah, yeah. It's just because I didn't need it because kind of like the main reason why you pay for StreamYard if you're gonna have large panels that maybe like of course it unlocks other features that I never use anyway. So that's
Right.
why, that's kind of why I don't pay for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Well,
like StreamYard will post the video for you. You set it, it'll publish it for you with everything there without you having to do it and all of that.
Yeah. All right. All
well,
right.
I think at one time I actually had like about, including myself, like 8 people on the panel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't like those panels, but
Yeah,
because
that's too
it can,
much for me. That's intimidating.
yeah, yeah, it can go wrong. There are more chances for things to go wrong and somebody start arguing,
And then
or
too many
or
people to control.
or there is always going to be somebody on a large panel who uh, likes the sound of their own voice for some reason. It happens with the larger panels, is what I have seen.
Hmm.
There is always somebody who likes the sound of their own voice, and us simple people, we are like waiting and we're waiting, trying to get a wording, and we can't because there are too many people
Yeah, I've seen that
on
a
the
lot.
panel. And by the time one might have a chance to say something, then the subject has already changed onto something else. And I was like, damn, I was waiting to have my say about what we were talking about at that time, and they're already onto something else. And no, I don't like it. I don't like large panels because of that.
Well, at one time, I actually did a stream that lasted almost 5 hours.
Me
But,
too.
huh?
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I
I
haven't
have a,
done that yet. That's a
I
lot.
know, but
That means I'm going through
unfortunately, that was the
something.
stream when everyone went
oh,
crazy.
okay. Well,
Remember?
thankfully, yeah, thankfully, mine was about the power of the box. That's my longest live stream, and it has the meme, the Brad Pitt meme saying, "What's in the box?" It was the power of the box, meaning women's.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean.
yeah.
But that was my best stream. I'm proud of it because I did got to get several people coming in and out, and I didn't have large panels, but people will coming in and out and bring their 2 cents on the subject.
Well,
So,
that stream got almost 600 views.
of
Um,
course it did. Of course it did because there was drama. There was drama.
Yeah, people love negativity and
I mean,
toxicity.
Yeah,
somehow,
it's unfortunate.
somehow I was the only person that didn't get insulted.
Yeah, no, but that's because you have to keep somewhat quiet because you try to say something and then somebody will get out of line and disrespect you. And so, yeah,
Yeah, you definitely don't want that.
no, that could easily happen. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
but
right. That's right. But no, we're too old for that. Jose and I were too old for that. Dealing with drama like that online. I know that it was kind of like a pandemic thing when that really started to pop off, and there were all of these big streams, and StreamYard came along kind of at around that time. That's when StreamYard started to be this available technology that will make it easier for to do live streams because there were other ways to do live streams. There was like a Google Streams before that. I don't know if that's still a thing, um, but it wasn't as easy. It wasn't as easy to do live stream. But StreamYard made it so much easier, and there were live streams all over the place during the pandemic.
yeah. I mean,
That has kind of like toned down a little bit.
yeah. I remember Xtina had a couple of streams that lasted like 9, 10 hours long.
She has like three of them. She has like three of them that it was like all night, part of the evening and all night.
Wow.
Yeah. Christina has like 2 or 3 live streams that are 10 hours, and that was definitely yeah. I remember.
Well, I'm definitely not doing that here, and I'm definitely about to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Those marathon streams that not for everybody. Yeah.
No, no, believe me, if you see most of my streams, they rarely go past 2 hours because
Mhm.
people have lives. I mean, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. I find myself doing uh, I intend for a live stream to only last like a little over an hour, but all of a sudden, if it's a decent subject and one is having a good conversation, and all of a sudden it's 3 hours. You've been up for 3 hours, but tells you something that the conversation was actually good. It was actually good. It was a good exchange. So I don't mind that, but it's not my thing to be talking, doing a lot of talking. I'm not one of those. People that love to do a lot of talking because they have the gift of gab, as they call it. But not everybody can do that, and yeah, one of the quiet ones.
well, I just want to say
Mhm.
in 3 weeks, it'll be my birthday.
Okay,
Oh
good,
wow!
good. All
Happy
right.
early birthday! You got plans already?
Yeah, Jose looks forward to his birthdays. When one gets older, that's just kind of like a reminder that you're just getting older. And so I
Yeah.
don't trip too much on that. That's why I kind of like I didn't say anything when it was my birthday back in August because I wasn't thinking too much about it. I wasn't tripping on that.
I might do a birthday stream.
Hmm. All right.
So
All right,
so it,
guys. Tell me what
yeah.
you guys got going on. I'm about to wrap this up. Sorry to cut you off midstream, Jose.
No, I just want to say thank you for allowing us on your platform, and it is a very interesting topic. I mean, look, when it comes to these issues, I mean, both those who are in favor of reproductive rights and those who are pro-life, they both have valid points. Okay, what makes it bad is when you have extremists from both sides that make a difficult situation even more a more difficult situation. Um, when everything is said and done, I do not believe in a complete abortion ban. I think it should be restricted in cases of great incest or when the mother's life is in danger. It should not be used as a form of birth control, considering there are over 30 different types of birth control available. Okay, outside of abstinence. It does that people need to think about their actions. And if you going to engage in adult activity, then you need to do everything possible to not only prevent unwanted pregnancies, but STDs as well.
Amen. Y'all heard that out there? Do what you need to do to prevent STDs and unwanted pregnancies. Thank you, Jose.
You're welcome.
Ramon, Ramon.
That's pretty good.
I be
Well,
trying.
okay, okay, good, good. Um, well, first of all, I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. When it comes to this subject, I do remember that when the whole thing about Roe v. Wade when it was struck down, I did do a live stream about it, and I was thinking the same thing that I'm thinking now when it comes to that, and I have as I have already mentioned, uh, I don't believe in a complete and absolute prohibition of the procedure because like what Jose just said, there are instances in which it may be necessary to save a life. So I don't believe in a complete prohibition. There are gonna be instances in which the mother's life is gonna be in danger, and it may be necessary to do the procedure on instances in which it is merited. But like I said before, using the procedure as as a form of birth control is extremely irresponsible, extremely reckless, and not understanding that overdoing that can cause the woman to be barren because of what it involves as part of the procedure. If one is not careful, the woman can end up not being able to have kids later on because of the procedure that they did. So I'm not I'm not 100% against it unless it is for situations that are merited. But um, women may have an opportunity to get reproductive rights restored with the coming election. And there is a good chance that is going to happen.
Mhm.
So, aside from that, thank you, Kishel, for letting me be on your panel. And I look forward to the next one. Talk to you and hang out with you.
Thank you. Well, it's
Hmm.
good seeing you guys. Thank you for popping in. Like, I've definitely been like trying to process these family losses and the media circle losses that just happened within the last couple of months. But I know you guys are all so versed on that. So definitely looking to be more social and active as I was before and get out of that that space. So Thank you guys for popping in.
Thank you. No problem. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us.
Thank you. Oh, already I shared the stream on my community tab.
Thank you very much. I be sharing that stuff too. So like when I be at work, I'm outside. I got a loud background. If I know I can't pop in, like I be sharing. So if you ever see my community tab, like I be sharing that stuff too.
Thank you. And remember, it is now 97 days until the first day of winter.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh,
All right.
no, we don't want to hear that.
Don't start. Don't start.
Are you losing your cool, Ramon?
Yeah, I'm about to lose my cool. That's why I'm gonna be stepping out. I'm gonna be taking my leave. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Thank you for having me, Kichel. And take
Take
care, Jose. Until
take
Take
next.
care.
care.
All right. Bye.
All right. All right, guys, you heard it. That's it. That's all I got for you. Shout out to my panel guests tonight. We had introvert Bariqua. We have here also Jose Negron. In the chat we had Irby Fatal. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for rolling with me, rocking out with me. This definitely was supposed to air a little bit earlier, but life happens. But shout out to everybody who's consistent with me. They stick with me even when I'm like late, a whole day late or whatever the case is. Definitely appreciate you guys for that. I really, really do. And again, this is episode 23 of Wine and FaceTime. It's been real. Hope you guys have a great evening. Tomorrow we back to work, and it is what it is. Stay tuned till next weekend when I'll be gonna be doing my final season finale. And yeah, we're wrapping the season up. We're gonna be starting a whole new season. So peace out, y'all, and until next time, I will holler at you guys later. One love. Bye.